Hey, friends. We're running a little behind time, just waiting on Nikki, but I didn't want to lose the link. So just sit tight. We'll be right there. Hi, it's Tanya, one half of A Thousand Eyes on One. And while I wait for Nikki, I will tell you what we have coming up. March 10th, that's next Sunday, is our book club, Wine on an Empty Stomach. We're covering Savage Her Reply by, hold on, I'll tell you the author. Savage Her Reply by Deirdre Sullivan. So that's March 10th at 2 p.m. It is a retelling of The Children of Lear from the perspective of the evil stepmother. So that should be a fun read if you haven't read it yet. It's a really, really short read. So if you haven't read it yet, you absolutely have time to get it. We couldn't find it at our library, so you might have to buy it, but it's worth it. It's really short. And if you get it, order it tonight, get it by Sunday or Monday, and you can finish it by the time we have book club. So that's what we have coming up next. We'll probably do some more Avatar streams as well. This is my first time watching anything Avatar, so uh, Nikki's super into it. So this should be exciting. So just sit tight. We're just gonna wait for Nikki. I'll be back. Sorry. Hi, we're live.
Oh, ha,
You didn't see my text?
no.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. um, yeah. Well, I guess let me get my things going. YouTube. This is what we're actually like in real life.
I decided not to sit and ramble. I just
Oh, I would have.
I just mentioned book club and what we have coming up.
Well, here we are. Hold on, let me fix this. Hello, boys and girls. Hi. All right. I guess I'm ready. Uh-huh. Actually, you know what? Like accidentally, without even planning, I got swag.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So here's once upon a time, I started watching the animated version of the show when I was in college. Me and two of my then favorite people in the world. I used to come home from school. They used to come home from work, and we used to watch it together, like back to back. Because I think it was Nickelodeon was playing the episodes, and they'd play 2 or 3 at a time. And I fell in love with it immediately. I have since seen it all the way through maybe 6 times. I try to watch it once a year until Legend of Korra came out. And I had a little bit of a harder time with that one. I think it's because it's more political. Tanya knows I hate the news. But yeah, I did give it a watch, and Korra is also she's also a badass. So yeah, because of that, my love for Avatar the Airbender knows no bounds, and that's why I've got coasters. I got coasters of the elements. I've got a waterbender jacket. I got Appa somewhere over there. I'm about to get like a Letterman's jacket, the Air Nation. So yeah, I'm a super big fan. Was I extremely disappointed when that first movie came out? Disappointment does not begin to capture how I felt about that first movie. Yeah, they tried, and I think the people who made it really loved it also, but I'll just say they tried. We don't give participation trophies out on this podcast, but we'll say that they tried. So when I found out that they were making this remake, I was super excited. I mean, I've been trying to get Tanya to watch the animated series forever and a day.
Yeah.
I understand that I love animation. Tanya loves murder stuff. So this is kind of like where we divert ways when
Yeah,
consuming
I'm all
media.
about like the cults and the murders.
True crime. And I
Yeah.
want it to have like dragons or animation in it. So unless
Yeah.
I'm about murder if it's in Bleach. I love that show. Or Attack on Titan. But yeah, when I heard the show was coming, I was so excited because I had high hopes that the technology had finally caught up with what it could be. And I was especially excited when I found out that the creators were going to be working on it. And then, a little bit discouraged when I found out they left because Netflix was taking it in a different direction than they'd originally planned. But I still had high hopes for it. So when it dropped last week, I was so gassed. I watched like the first 5 minutes and I was like, I texted Tanya, I was like, oh my God, just watch the first 5 minutes. Just watch the first 5 minutes.
And I
And she
didn't.
did it. And it's okay. It was my friend. Shout out to Sonia. Happy belated. It was her birthday and she's a huge fan of the animated series. So we ended up watching it together later that night. And I was like, okay. But then this week, I told Tanya, I was like, we should totally do 30 Tuesdays about this. But this week, I talked Tanya into watching it, and she's coming into the show with zero knowledge, just kind of how I did like
Absolutely
Game of Thrones.
nothing.
Nothing. She knows
I've
nothing
never
about the world.
watched I've never watched the movies, the shows. I've never watched any of it. I've never read about it. Um, I didn't know the characters' names, like completely blank slate.
Yeah.
And the first indication of that, real indication, I think, for
Before
Nikki.
I say that, let me just say that Tanya, I forgot how I convinced her to watch it with me. I was like, let's just watch the first episode together, like separately. I was at my place, she was at her place. I was like, let's just watch it together.
Mhm. So I popped it on and I started it. I'm like, okay, this seems cool. Seems like something I can be in line with. Then we get further into the episode, and remember, I know nothing about this. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. Is everyone gonna wait a minute? Is this why it's called The Last Airbender? Is everyone gonna die? Like, Nikki, is
She
this
was
a
like, she
genocide?
likes to be genocide. I was like, well, it's called The Last Airbender.
And I had literally never considered it. So yeah, I was like, wait a minute, is that why it's called The Last Airbender? Are they gonna kill all of the airbenders? And Nikki was just like, so sorry.
It's okay, okay. We started late. Why did I start late? Because I was at Tanya's. Somehow I got in my head today that we were starting at 6 o'clock, and I was like, well, I'll just do it from your house. And then I looked at our own flyer. It
Definitely
was
not
even
6,
in my calendar for 6.
which is
So,
strange. I
yeah.
like to check
Anyway,
Minute
before
Plus.
we keep going into it, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking red wine. I forgot what it's I don't know what it is, honestly.
I like that you're putting on lipstick because when I was walking into my like up the street, I was like, you know what? This is what I'm doing. We're gonna go live and be like, come with me. So my journey about
I
Avatar: The
decided to
Last.
go with a tinted gloss this time.
Ooh, I did the chocolate gloss that I have that I
And
showed
like,
you.
can you see that?
Oh, I
Fenty
like that.
cream.
Oh, shout out to Fen Fen. Everything they do is magic. Um, it makes me remember the first time I got the lemon spice or whatever one, and I thought that I was having allergic reaction. It turns out it's
Was
supposed
a
to burn.
plumper. Oh, it was like a plumper.
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
no
the
idea.
plumpers are spicy.
Yeah, I forgot to turn on my light, but I think that's fine, right? Um, anyway, yeah. So
So
yeah,
yeah, so
what are your thoughts?
I did not know that it was gonna open with, everybody getting murked. But then I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that makes sense. He is Avatar, the last airbender. Okay. All right, I
Mm-hmm.
get it now. And then my next moment of like, bitch, what the fuck? Was when they make it to the what is it, the Water Kingdom?
Mm-hmm. The Water
And
Nation, yeah.
Water Nation, yeah.
Wolf's Cove.
And they're talking about not seeing their dad in 3 years. And so when Aang comes out of the ice, I'm like, damn, it's been 3 years he's been in that ice. Damn. Doesn't even know his people have been dead for 3 years. And then they get to Gran, and she's talking about the Comet Festival. And she's like, yeah, an airbender hasn't been seen in generations. And I text Nikki, generations? And then I said, bitch, 100 years? So this is 100 years later?
100 years later,
I was
and
devastated.
yeah, it's terrible. Like, so I want you to watch the first episode of the animated one because I think you'll enjoy it now that you've seen this. I will say, well, we're gonna do episode by episode, so I'll save it. But for me, I think one of the most exciting things because like there was a lot of hype or just like naysaying before this came out
Mhm.
about how terrible it was gonna be, and just like they made all these changes and how dare they? And because I love it so much, I had a I was gonna go in just like cautiously optimistic, um, and I
Hey,
understand
hey,
that at the
Sarah.
hey, long time no see. Um, so I was cautiously optimistic, and but I was getting a little bit caught up in the hype. I was like, people are gonna say what they're gonna say, but nobody's seen this yet, right? Um, it is so lovely. It makes me so happy every time I watch it. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it. But because of that, I forgot like how cool. Like I was like, oh, I didn't even think about what the bending might look like. So in that first scene, which you don't get in the animated show, Tanya, you don't ever see the Fire Nation coming. You have it in flashbacks. You don't see them attack. You don't get the war plans. You don't get any of that. And so to watch someone from the Earth Kingdom running away and passing the message and knowing that it was like all the trap is like crazy. But for me, I think the thing that blew my mind was when Fire Lord Sozin, shout out to them keeping Sozin's comet in the sky. BT dubs. Can you tell I love the show? Like, yeah. Uh, but when he grabs his wrist
And lit his
and
ass up.
brings him to a crisp, it's like when you're watching the animated series, like that firebenders could do some wild stuff, right? I don't know if they'll get. I won't mention her in case they do talk about her in the they get to her in the show, but we know that the elements can do some like serious damage. We see them like blowing stuff up and setting things on fire, but we'd never seen them actually. torch something, because this was a show on Nickelodeon, and now you're like faced with actually how devastating a power firebending is, and I loved to see
I was like, oh man, why the Targaryens have to be evil?
that. They do have dragons.
Ooh, dragons?
Yeah, Fire Lord.
I love
Sorry,
seeing
not
the
Fire Lord Ozai.
earthbending.
Yeah, the earthbending. So
Excuse me, the earthbending was dope. The airbending made me think of Wheel of Time.
yes, definitely.
And it made me want to watch Wheel of Time. If you haven't watched us, check out our playlists.
We got two
Watch
seasons
us
of Wheel
talk
of Time.
about Wheel of Time.
Sorry, I misspoke. Not Fire Lord Ozai. Avatar Roku had a dragon in the animated series, so I don't know if we'll see that.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be great though. That would be so awesome. So yeah, 100 years in an iceberg.
100 years.
100 years in an iceberg.
He must have had to pee so bad.
Oh man, how did you feel like during you watch him in the storm and he's like going on? Because I was worried that they were going to make him like too pouty, but like he's only 12 years old and he found out that he's got to save the whole world. He just wants to like hang out with his homies and eat banana pies.
Yeah, I felt. First of all, I was like, why is he out in the storm? Like, he didn't, like, why are you so far out? Go back home. And then I was like, no, don't go back home. They're killing everyone. They're going to kill the kids. She's like, they're going to kill the kids. And then I was like, does he show up and fight? And then he basically drowns. And I was just like, what the hell? Like, because I didn't know he was going to be trapped in an iceberg for 100 years with his dog. I
am so mad. Hold on. Let me get Appa. I'll be right back.
Appa, I thought Appa died. I thought he was all alone and that his giant dog died. I know it's a water bison, but to me it was his big dog.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Oh, yeah, I thought Appa died. And I was like, damn, the dog died too?
He's an air bison.
I know.
Hold on, I can't even. He's invisible.
Aww.
Hold on. This is one of my favorite gifts
hater.
ever. Yeah, my background is being a hater. Well, believe me that I have Appa. You've seen him in our Instagram stories. Yeah, well, because you think that he's gonna drown, but then can you highlight Sarah's comment, the second to last one? Cryogenic freezing. So yeah,
yes, like I was like the sky puppy lives too.
Yeah, it's just amazing because like in the animated, that's the first time you see him go into the avatar state too, but you don't know what that is. You're just like, oh, okay, I thought he was gonna die, and wow, that was a really short show, but there he is, and he saved himself. And I just gotta say real quick, I love the actor who's playing Aang. I think he's adorable. And he's just so likable and so cute, and that's how he is in the animated series. So I felt like they stayed really true to his character.
You know who got on my nerves? Sokka. Oh my god, I wanted to uppercut Sokka like the whole time.
Yeah, Sokka's annoying. He's annoying in the show too, in the other show, in the original series. But I will also say about his casting is that it's also true. Like if you look at the pictures, you're like, oh, wow, they nailed that. But Sokka, when I first watched it the first time through, I was like, he's kind of annoying. But then when he grows on me because I'm like, oh, wait a second, no, this is a kid. He's like 16 and he's had to take care of his entire village for 3 years.
I know, and this is exactly why what you're saying is exactly why he annoyed me, because he's a poor 16-year-old who at the age of 13 had to take care of his whole village. And he's yelling at this 12-year-old whose entire people got murdered and calling him a coward. He was a 12-year-old who didn't know a massacre when a war was coming. Like, how can you have gone through the things you've gone through? Yeah, and then accuse him of running away, and you know what I mean? And being so mean to him. It was making me so mad. I wanted to fight him.
Yeah. I love Katara for being like,
and like there were no grown-ups left. Why did Sokka have to run the village?
Just the old ones. All the warriors went to war. They killed all the water benders and everybody else went to war.
Damn.
Yeah. Sokka is made to be a bit annoying. But he was like,
well, again, found a comatose kid. Well, time to go back home.
That'll leave him, right? But then he throws the blanket on him.
Yeah, he didn't take much convincing.
He's like, all right, I guess he's not that bad. Yeah. Poor Aang. Just imagine like waking up and just being like, yeah, everybody that you've ever known is dead, just gone, and
You know
they've
what's
been
funny?
dead for a long time.
This is like a little bit dark, but my grandma's almost 100,
Hmm.
and she keeps saying like she still has like all her mental faculties and she's like healthy, but like she's like, if I make it to 100, that's cool and all, but like, does anybody really need to be 100 years old? And I'm like, damn, grandma, I feel you. And then one time she was just like, all her friends are dead, and I was like, God damn.
Yeah, yeah. My grandma is also almost 100. And, but I don't know, I feel like she doesn't really have plans. She's just like, because her father lived to be 104, and his mother was 110, but the records were wrong. So that's where they stopped. That's where they counted. But she was born before that. So they actually don't know how old she was. It could have been anywhere between like 111 and 115. Who knows? But they were all in pretty good health up until the end too. Um, so I'm gonna be here forever, guys.
I'm just like, damn, like all your friends are dead, her siblings are dying,
Mhm.
and like you just gotta hang out with like your kids all the time.
Yeah.
So poor Aang, all he has is Appa. All his
Oh,
friends
yeah.
are dead. Everyone he knows is dead. Like, and like dead, dead. Like there's
Yeah.
no memories of them. Like they are gone.
They're, like, almost a myth now that they ever existed,
Yeah.
and so to come back with that and then to know, like, yes, you survived because you had to go, like, mull it over because it was, like, too much, you're like, "I need to get some air and think about this," although he did have his little knapsack. In the show, he was clearly in the animated series, he was clearly running away, because he didn't want the responsibility, but that saved his life. Um,
Mhm.
but then to come back and find out that not only is everybody dead, but, like, not that you would have been prepared to save the world at 5 minutes after finding out that you were the Avatar, but, like,
Right.
you know, everybody so many other people have lost people because you disappeared.
But like what could he have I mean, don't actually tell me because I
Yeah, I
don't want
mean,
spoilers, but like at
yeah.
that point, what could he have done? Like he doesn't know how to use the other elements yet, right?
No,
And
he does not.
like he's an excellent airbender, but like what he would have been killed too if he'd
Mhm.
stayed.
He absolutely would have been. He absolutely would have been. Destiny.
Ooh, my book became available.
Woohoo.
How to Love a
Yeah.
Jamaican. It's a book of short stories. Borrow.
Oh, there it is. And you're still a preteen. Your voice hasn't
Right.
changed yet.
Yeah, I like that.
You're
Everyone
112
is
years
dead.
old.
Everyone hates that you left and you're a preteen. A
Yeah.
112-year-old preteen. How confusing that must be.
Mhm. That's a lot to shoulder. But at least you have your air bison.
I know, at least he got to keep his dog.
Poor Appa. I'm not gonna let her slander you.
All of Appa's friends are dead too. Are there any more air bison?
No, no. We never see another one. We meet Momo, the air lemur. But yeah, Appa's gone too.
Poor
Man,
Appa.
poor Appa. So we know the waterbenders have been taken away, but here we got Katara. Blah, 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 blah.
So the waterbenders have been taken away, or have
Well,
they
they've been
been
killed.
just killed?
They've been killed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
So
not
and then
sugarcoating it since we did just talk about genocide.
yeah. And so I'm assuming the same for the earthbenders, right? Probably.
Mm,
Maybe.
no, no,
No.
no. Earthbenders
'Cause
are still there.
they were the ones who were prepared because they thought that's who they
Right.
were coming for.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they mentioned also that the Earth Kingdom is still standing strong, they think, but that they don't know for sure because they're so isolated from everybody else. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So then we have Katara. She's a
Mhm.
waterbender,
Mhm.
and it's a secret. And she's not that great at it until she is.
Until she is.
I loved that moment.
Man, so dope. So dope. You know what? One of the things that like I love everything about this. Like this episode in particular. I won't talk about the other ones because Tanya hasn't seen them yet, and I actually haven't watched the finale because I was saving it. I'm gonna wait until
Sh-
you watch it.
I know. Should so I kind of want to binge it now.
Oh, you can binge it. We can still do it.
Yeah, but if I binge it, will we do should I just binge it and we make it a 30 Tuesday? Or do you want to do episode by episode? You want to do episode by episode?
I love it that much.
Okay, okay, okay,
It's got Game of Thrones level love for me.
okay.
Yeah, Wheel of Time level love, you know. Um, but that's what I was telling. Because Tanya hasn't watched the original. I don't want to keep calling it the original. I'm gonna have to call it TOS, ATLA, Atla. We'll call it Atla, um, for the cartoon. But one of my favorite things was that they used all. What happened?
Yawning.
Oh, I thought you were like had
Nope.
an epiphany.
I was just trying to not. I was just trying not to show my gullet to the internet.
No, give us those tonsils, girl.
I know. I'm so tired. Why did we decide to do this on a Friday night?
And it's just like, is it really different than a Tuesday night at the same time?
It is because Tuesday is still almost the beginning of the week.
Tuesday, Sunday.
Yeah, because Tuesday is my first day alone with the kids. By Friday, I am run down, and usually I am in my bed at this point.
Full
That's
disclosure.
why I always miss AK's trivia.
Shout out to AK and her trivia.
Hey.
Full disclosure, we did almost cancel.
I'm I don't want to do it anymore.
So tired. But yeah, what I was gonna say is that they use all the music from the original, and that's when I heard that, it was so awesome. Yes, all the music is the same from the cartoon. The intro, when you first see the credits, water, air, da da da, that's exactly the same too, except it's live action. And there's a moment in the beginning of every episode, they talk about everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. That's what they put those words in Grand's mouth, and it was so cool to see that because I was missing that in the intro. But yeah, you have her telling this story to Aang, and you're like, it was one of those moments. I was
oh, that's really cool. Maybe I will watch the animated.
Yeah, I'll watch it with you. It's amazing. It's a great show. Me and my nephew have been watching it together every time I go home. He's really into it too.
It's just so many episodes.
It is.
That's really what kept me from starting it, is there's just so many episodes.
Yeah, but you know what? You could watch 3 or 4 at a time, and then you've done an hour of Avatar. Yeah. Yeah, it's when I tell you it's 60 episodes or something. It's 3 seasons, 3 books.
What is the Fire Prince's name?
Zuko.
Zuko. Yeah. I couldn't figure out if that was a birthmark or if he had a black eye.
Well, you'll find out soon enough.
Okay, because I was like, does somebody beat his ass?
He had a Weinstein.
Yeah, I was like, does he have a Weinstein birthmark, or did somebody beat his ass? I couldn't quite figure it out.
Yeah, what do you think about Zuko?
Zuko was evil light.
Evil light.
I felt like Zuko. Now again, remember, I don't know anything about any of these characters, so don't. I could be completely off base, but Zuko strikes me as he's evil for his dad's sake. He's trying to impress his dad, because he's just not giving full evil to me.
Yeah,
I feel like he can be turned.
Yeah. Zuko.
He's not given Joffrey and Ramsay evil.
Oh,
he's given Theon evil. You're just trying to impress your dad. You don't.
I feel like that's a really good comparison. And what'd you think about Iroh, Uncle Iroh?
Uncle Iroh, which one was that?
He's the one who was offering Aang tea and counseling Zuko.
Oh, he was sweet.
Yeah,
his little old self.
Theon, daddy issues. Yeah, we got a lot of daddy issues going on in this show.
Yes,
actually, we got Zuko have the daddy issues. We got Sokka with daddy issues.
Yeah. Uncle Iroh. Okay, yeah, I liked Uncle Iroh. Uncle Iroh, he just seems like, he's just there for the gig.
Yeah.
He's not trying to kill everybody. He's just I get up, I put my pants on, I go to work.
Yeah.
I drink jasmine tea.
Mm-hmm. Iroh's dope. Man, I'm trying to think. You know
What
what
is what is
go ahead.
Iroh's role? Like, who
He
is he
is
to Zuko?
he's his uncle.
He's his uncle. Okay.
He's
Oh,
uncle. He's
duh.
his father's
Uncle
brother.
Iroh.
Yeah. Yeah, no, literally his uncle. He's his
Okay.
uncle.
I
Yeah.
thought he was just like a kindly old man on the staff.
No,
And they
it's
just
his
call him
uncle.
uncle to be sweet.
He's what's his name? Oh my god. I just blanked out. Alfred. No, he's not Alfred. He's actually his uncle.
Okay.
You know what I want to mention real quick is that so the reason the Fire Nation attacked, because this will come back and that's not a spoiler, but the reason the Fire Nation attacked was because the comet was in the sky. So they were able to harness the power of the comet, and that's what made them like,
So powerful.
so
Okay, because
powerful.
I remember him saying something like that in the
Mm-hmm.
episode, and I
Yeah,
wasn't sure
Monkey Atso.
exactly.
He was like, any other
When they
night you
went to go kill all the
invested me.
Padawans. I was like, no,
Yeah, that's kind of what it
no,
was. Yeah.
don't kill the children. They're hiding in there. It
Miss
was
Tanya texted me,
devastating.
not the children.
I was like, no, not the children.
Not the children. Yeah, you don't see that in Atla either. But yeah, I thought it was really good that they.
I'm glad they didn't show it. I can't handle stuff
Oh
like that
no,
anymore.
they just it's terrible. That would have been a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. It's like even when they go back to the Southern Temple, or yeah, but even when they go back there,
Yeah,
you're
they don't
just
show
like, oh,
there's
they
no
don't show.
bodies.
They're just monkey atso. That's it.
Yeah,
You don't see
that was something that
baby
stood out to me.
skeletons.
Because I
Yeah,
was like, oh my God, there's gonna be so many bodies. And then there were no
yeah.
bodies. And then there was the one
Just
burned up
just
skeleton.
yeah, just his. But you know what's actually interesting with the comet is when I first saw it in the sky, I was like, oh my God, they wrote that into it, which is really exciting. But it reminds me of the comet that everybody's like talks about in the beginning of Game of Thrones, right? And like
That the
it makes
show like just completely
left out. It made me so mad. I'm like, they worked in the comet. Why didn't you guys? Like, how cool would it have been to see like the green comet in the sky the whole time? Or
red comet.
The red comet, sorry. Yeah. I'm thinking high towers and I went green.
Yeah, like Daenerys thinks it's her symbol. Joffrey thinks it's his
Mhm.
symbol. Everybody, it's like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. It's just like that would have been the
But then
one
they
thing
would have, but then
when
they
it
would
got
have had to follow up on all the prophecies, and they just, dumped that too. Sorry, I don't want to go off track, but I feel
yeah,
like they
we're at,
really were afraid of magic for the
yeah,
show.
I think so. Which is why I'm glad they're leaning so heavily into it here. Yeah. I think they really pack a lot into the first episode. And think the first episode really closely mirrors um the first one of Atla original series. So, we have like Zuko practicing fire bending stuff, and then they
Yeah.
get to the island. They get to the island. They get
Oh,
to
and
the
they're causing
water
all
tribe.
that pollution,
Ugh, yeah.
all that black smoke coming out of the ship. I was like,
It's so
yeah.
funny because not funny, but that's in the animated series, that's how they know the Fire Nation is coming, because the snow turns ashy.
Mm.
Yeah, it starts snowing like soot. And that's their warning. So I'm kind of upset they didn't show that, but like whatever. It's still a cloudy ass big ass ship coming through. And what did
Like,
you think
what the hell
about
are they burning?
Diesel?
Like, what are y'all burning for that black ass smoke?
Diesel.
What were you gonna ask?
I was gonna ask what your thoughts on Zuko landing his landing on Normandy Beach.
Oh, when they get to the
Mm-hmm.
water nation,
Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't sure what to think, because I was like, is he gonna march in and just like, tear houses apart, and then there's the whole face off in that poor flimsy gate that absolutely would not stand up to firebenders in
But
any
shout
way,
out to
shape, or
being
form.
resourceful, because it was a cool gate.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful gowns.
Take that.
uh,
Actually, no, fuck
he
him.
just seemed like a big bully, and his boys too, like, and he but he also seems scared to me.
Mm.
Like he
What
seems like a
what
big bully,
makes you
but he
think
also seems
so?
scared. I think his dad beats him.
He's given a
He's giving like my dad is gonna beat me
mm. Better clean that
if I don't
room.
get this right. Yeah. I'm like pulling feathers out of my
I
pillow right
was like,
now.
what is going on over there?
Those like poking me in the arm, and you can feel like the little
From the pillow, yeah.
yeah, it was poking me in the arm, it was driving me nuts. I had to pull it out.
Oh
Um,
man.
yeah, yeah, I just get that's what I got from Zuko is that he has strong daddy issues. His
Mm-hmm.
dad probably is gonna beat him up. He's not an only child, right? He has siblings.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He has a sister.
his sister. Okay, who's probably better than him at everything? I don't know. I liked when the villagers started fighting back because at
His
that
hot
point it's like,
Tanya hasn't seen him, Sarah. Can I just say real quick? I'm talking about the show to Tanya, blah blah blah. And then last weekend I texted her. I was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, in case you want another reason to watch, look, this is Fire Lord Ozai." And she's like, "I was gonna text you that you should have led with that."
yeah, because before you text me, like literally minutes before you text me, somebody on Twitter posted that picture. And I was like, nobody told me shirtless Daniel Day Kim was in this. And I was about to text you, like, Nikki, you could have led with shirtless Daniel Day Kim is in this. And then you text me that picture. And I was like, bruh, if you had led with that, like, I wouldn't have asked any questions.
And yeah, we're thirsting over him
Oh,
from Joyride, also
yeah.
still.
Oh, he said, I've never seen any of the ads for this.
Yeah, me neither. I kind of stayed away from everything.
I missed everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
yeah,
I would like, yeah, the casting was like, I didn't, when they were doing all the casting stuff, I wanted to be surprised. So I didn't go and look at anything once
and
they said
I
that they were
simply
like,
just didn't care. So I just never
yeah,
just never paid any attention. I never paid any attention to anything about it at all. I just remember when people started talking about how bad it was gonna be. I was telling Nikki, like, oh my God, they're saying this happened and that happened. I was feeling bad for her. I was like, oh no, I like she's
she
so
was so
excited.
worried.
Yeah, because you were so excited. And I was like, I want it to be good for you, you know?
Like it dropped last Thursday and I found like you could AK can vouch for this. I came home Wednesday night and it was after midnight. I was like, "Where's the episode? It says it's coming out on Thursday." And then I was like, "You know, I got to go to work tomorrow. Let me go to sleep." And so then I had a really like tough day. I worked the whole day, and then I sat down at like 6 o'clock, and I looked, and I was like, I had plans. I was supposed to, you know, I had plans, and I opened up Netflix, and I saw that it had dropped in all 8 episodes, and I canceled all of my plans. I told Tanya, I was like, "No." Nothing else is happening tonight. I was like, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch this. And I watched the first 5 episodes and then I realized that I had to work. The next day was Friday, so I went to sleep. Um, yeah. Man, you know what's crazy? Oh, not crazy, but like we're gonna go back to Aang and just be like, okay, you woke up, all your people are dead. These people are telling you that don't worry, we haven't seen the Fire Nation around here in ages. And then, 3
And
hours later, here
you're
they
like,
are.
whoops. I forgot
you
to turn my
know
alarm off.
and Sokka's like, oh, you know what, I told you this was going to happen. His instincts aren't bad. I'll give Sokka that, right? His instincts aren't bad. um Especially after they realize, they're mad because they're like, wait, you're the Avatar. And Aang's like,
I think so.
yeah, I
I
guess,
think Aang
but
should have been clearer, like, I found out that night that I might be the Avatar. Like, if you
yeah,
put it that way, it's like,
they were
okay.
like, oh, and I didn't know how to deal with it, so I walked away.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
he knew for like 4 minutes and then he was unconscious.
poor guy. And then you show up with these people and they're kind and they take you in with a little resistance, and then the Fire Nation is here, like threatening to burn the whole place down.
But he offered himself up immediately.
He did.
So,
Which I loved.
yeah. I liked
Which
his
I-
glider
yeah, the
when
glider's
he
really
escaped.
cool. I
But
love
then
his
when he was
escape.
yeah, but then when he hit him with the fire and he was falling, I'm like, "Bruh, airbend, what are you doing? Like, why are you in a free fall?"
mm. Eh, yeah, airbending doesn't solve all your problems.
Solves all my problems.
You know what I like that they don't have in the other one is that he goes into Zuko's room, right? So we're getting to know a little bit about Zuko. We see his stuff, but then Zuko's got this because he like his dad was like, "Go find the Avatar. That's your job. Don't come back here without the Avatar." Um, and we can talk about that more and what that means as
Oh
we
yeah, because
watch
a
it.
new one can't be born because Aang didn't die.
Hmm. But they don't know that, right? They thought they killed everybody, so they're basically going around from
Waiting for
nation
the
to
next
nation, waiting for
right.
the one to manifest because they thought they'd killed all the Airbenders, right? That's why Zuko, when he sees him, he's like, "There's no way that's possible." Like, what? There's an Airbender, um, but he gets that book with all the avatars. He's like, "Oh, these are all avatars."
And now he
Yeah,
can learn from it.
now he can learn from it, which is really cool, and that did not happen that I
Well,
remember.
Bran didn't get that book. He needed a book of the three-eyed ravens.
He sure did. He sure did. Hey, Sarah, by the way, if we were going to do a world book only trivia, would you be down for that? Because we're thinking about it. Super, super nerd stuff. Yeah, so he has this book and this like, his little personal notes. And I think one of my favorite parts of this episode is when he's locked up and he's like talking to Iroh. He's like, why? Why is this happening? Why did they do this? And Iroh's just like, some people just like power. Take it off the shelf. Bone up. We're going to give you notice. I feel like we want to give everybody a chance to study.
Yeah, because I need a chance to study too
Yeah. The
and
questions
write
that I've already
questions.
written, I could not have answered myself
I
before
couldn't answer
before I
them.
listened. But yeah, so you're getting this, you have this perception of the Fire Nation as being completely evil, and then you meet Iroh, and you're like, oh, this seems like a philosopher type of dude. You don't have any of his backstory yet,
No.
but you're like,
He
oh,
comes off as
okay,
like a nice guy though. That's why
yeah.
I thought he was just like a kindly old man working on the ship. I didn't realize it was like the King Fire Lord's brother.
uh, oh my god, I wish I could say this, but I'll have to wait. But when it comes up, we'll rewind back to 42 minutes and 33 seconds in this thing, and I'll be like, it took all my all not to do this. So yeah.
See, this is why I want to binge it, but if I binge it, I'm not going to be able to do one episode at a time. Like
Yeah.
talk about one episode at a time.
It was I mean, I will you can binge it and I would still want to do one-on-one. I would still do it one at a time. Because I'm
Can
that
we
invested.
just do it like can we do like 2 of these a week or something?
Yeah, I was gonna say if because we're doing D&D Sunday, let's just do 30 Tuesdays with the second episode.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here first. I don't think I have plans that day. I have to check my calendar. I'll check my oh, wait, actually look at that. It's right there.
Maybe I should look at mine too before
Hmm.
I agree to
Hmm.
stuff. Yeah, my Tuesday night D&D is on hold.
Okay. Yeah, well, I can do it. So let me add this to my calendar. E2. E2. Yeah. This episode, like, I don't know, there was a lot in this episode, but there's also so much that they have to build upon from
March 5th,
here.
right?
Yes, March 5th.
Okay. Just making
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. There's a lot to that they're gonna be able to like build upon here.
Oh, wait a
And
minute. We have a 30 Tuesdays on the 12th. The movie.
okay, so we won't do it on the 12th. We can do it maybe not next Friday, but we'll find another day. We could do because we have book club on the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
What are we watching on for 30 Tuesdays?
Leave the World Behind.
Oh, I still haven't seen that. Where is that streaming?
Netflix, I think.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wait, Sarah, do you want to go to D&D?
Sarah, if you have my number, shoot me a text. I think you do.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed, so if you've ever had it, you have it.
Yeah.
We're doing a D&D thing on Sunday in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it'll be my first time. And it's like a massive event.
Yeah, it's all in person. And it's for all experience levels.
Yeah.
I'll send you, text me and I'll send you the link.
Yeah, we'll be at table 4.
I guess I could just drop the link if anybody wants to go.
Oh yeah, do that.
Everybody's invited. All right, hold on. Let me find it.
Everybody's it's I forgot who it's run by.
Everybody's invited. Buy a ticket and come play
Woo!
D&D with us.
Yeah. Table 4. That's what we're
Yes,
gonna
get
do.
table
Table
4.
4.
Let me find this link.
Yeah. I don't know. I would just say overall, I mean, Tanya, like I said, Tanya keeps telling me I don't spend enough time on the internet, but like now people have changed their tune and they're saying how much they've enjoyed this, and that makes me really, really, really happy. And I'm also excited because the creators, whose names I should really Google right now, they are working on their own. They're with a different production house. They're working on a live action feature film about this, which I'm super excited about too. Um, because this is how I always wanted the bending to look, and now it looks this great.
I want to see
They
more earthbending. That was my favorite out of everything I saw.
Oh yeah, you will. Earthbending is so awesome. And there's other kinds of bending that they touch on in the show. And I don't know if we'll see them here, but I hope we do. And there are a lot more characters that you're going to meet because all we know right now is that Aang has to learn the other disciplines, and he hasn't even begun to waterbend yet.
And this also makes me understand certain memes. Just this one episode.
I love when that happens.
Some that I think I've sent you just because I needed you to hold on to it for me. So when I knew what it meant, I could laugh at it too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll check those out. I've not been checking my phone very much this week. Yeah, I have a lot
I'll
of
find and reshare.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited for you to watch it. I think this is the first time that we've done something where it's like we're in the opposite. Like a lot of things we start together. At like Wheel of Time, like you'd read some of the books, but we started the show. We came in with the same show knowledge. Game of Thrones, you'd already read all the books, and by the time we started podcasting, I'd read them too. But yeah. So this is really fun to come in because as you like, I kept telling Tanya, I was like, this is making me so happy. I was like giddy and squealing. I just this makes me super, super, super happy. So yeah.
No, I like it. I like it enough to at least want to talk about it,
Yeah. It's so
And
funny because
I knew like how excited you are. So I was like, I think he needs to talk about it. And
I do.
sometimes it's fun to talk about it with somebody who has no idea what's going on, I think.
Yeah.
Because I know I enjoyed that with Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And like no
Yeah.
idea like what's going on, being like, well, let me tell you some backstory.
I would be like, but, and then she would just text me just a smiley face and not
Sarah,
answer
bring your
any
dice.
questions. And I'm like, oh man, I had to wait to figure that out. And I have theories, and she'd just be like,
So Sarah said she'll bring her dice Sunday.
woohoo.
So I have my little blue dice and I have my little dice tower. So you drop instead of
cute.
rolling, you drop them in.
Oh man, I should have. If I had, now I want to play just so I can get cool stuff like that.
I got it so that Donut could play with us because he was in my campaign as a wizard stuck in child form.
I remember you told me that.
Yeah. But he didn't like love playing with us because he was just like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Leave me alone.
Yeah. I just wanted to put them in the castle.
Yeah, he's like, he actually broke it. 2 of the like pieces are broken off of my castle. He broke it immediately. I was so mad.
Aw.
Like, really, dude, you had to break it. He was just like, what will happen if I smash this on the marble table?
No. Hold on real quick. I want to give a shout out to the artist of this. I got it from a place called Baroon. I say that because it's 3 triangles and 2 R's and 3 O's. So shout out to your original artwork.
Oh, your background?
Yeah.
I just Googled mine. I don't even know who it's from.
Yeah, it's on a WordPress.
And the full image isn't even there, so it didn't crop the way I thought it would.
Whoops. Yeah, this is from by Baroon Deep Sing. Theme of this week was similar. It's on his WordPress, but gorgeous. Yeah, I'm very excited for the do you have predictions for the next episode? Because we're tired. Let's call it.
I didn't watch like any like preview. I don't know if there is any preview stuff.
I don't think there were. It just like leads into the next episode.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch anything. I don't know. Um,
Do
this
you have
episode,
questions?
I'm afraid to ask questions. This episode was very like epilogue. So I feel like the story hasn't actually started yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was like giving me all the background information so that I know what I'm getting into. So
The
it's like
world
this
building
is
episode.
yeah. This is the world building episode. So I don't quite have questions yet. Just those observations I've given you.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. We'll see
We'll see.
where they go. We'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll see.
Sokka, he's annoying, but he has a good heart.
Yeah.
Katara's sweet. Zuko, he wants to do better deep down inside.
Mm-hmm.
Iroh seems like a pretty cool guy. Will we see more? Will we see more Grand in like the Water Nation,
You'll see more Water Nation.
but not specifically Grand?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then eventually we'll see some Earth Nation, I'm sure, because
Yeah.
yeah. Right now the Earthbending is my favorite. I mean, I haven't seen the Water Nation fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Not yet. Because what all you've seen is Katara make bubbles.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you haven't seen truly what waterbending can be. You have seen, what's actually really cool is because Aang is the only airbender that you ever see, he's the only one you ever see airbend, like through the show. He's the last airbender. So to see the airbenders
So,
make
like, you can't make new airbenders. Is it like a race?
You can if you have babies.
But like, would
Because
he
I'll
have to have
say
babies with another airbender or just like
no,
another person?
just another person. Because in the Legend of Korra, airbenders are back.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Korra, let's see, Aang's yeah. Yeah, because Aang has children and his children are airbenders.
Okay.
You don't see Aang. Aang is gone by the time they get around, but yeah, so airbenders do come back in the world in the Legend of Korra. So
Okay.
yeah. Yep. Aang has kids. Shoot, what was I gonna ask you? Oh, that's what I was saying, is that it was fun for me to see the fight with just like the airbenders fight, period, because you don't really get that. You see it in Atla when it's like when he's in Avatar state, like what could be done, but like to see a bunch of airbenders fighting against other people,
I saw a
that was
video
amazing.
today that somebody made, and it was like if I was Aang, and basically he just like took the air out of someone's body and let him suffocate. And everybody was yelling at him, like, what the like he's just unconscious, right? And he's like, no, I
No.
did what had to be done. And they're like, no, the avatar's not supposed to kill. And the guy's like, look, man. And it's like, yeah. So yeah, I watched the reel where a fake Aang tortures a man to death.
Wow. Well,
which I'm into.
Yeah, well,
May the person who stole my water bottle forever choke.
Yeah, I mean, well, you see, like I said, like you're in the show, we're seeing what Fire Nation can do to someone. Yeah, so just like extrapolate the worst of every element, and I feel like absolutely sucking the air out of somebody's body is, what evil Aang might do.
And then Katara could just like pull all your blood out through your eyes.
Yeah.
I need some, like, I'm already ready for some Atla horror.
Yeah.
Like, imagine an evil waterbender going around. You just keep finding these husks of bodies because the waterbenders are pulling their blood out through their eyes and just like throwing it in the streets.
In the streets, though?
No, because like a waterbender serial killer. That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy.
Although, think about if you were a water bending breastfeeder. That'd be easy. You're sleeping, the baby wakes up, and you just like bloop, bloop, bloop into the air over into the crib. I'm just thinking of uses for all these things.
It's like, I feel like Garvey would end up being the avatar.
He would.
Can you highlight Sarah's third comment from the bottom? like what we were just talking about is yes, totally.
Yes. Or Atla written by Tana Narif Do.
Scary.
That would be scary. Because
Oh.
yeah, that would be really scary.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine what a waterbender could do in one of her stories.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you to see what waterbenders can do. I don't think that we'll get to all of it this season. Because like I said, I haven't watched the final episode, but I did watch the 7th. And I know where that's going. And that storyline is one of my favorites in this series. I have a bunch of wait, no, that's not this episode. No, never mind. It's another one. I got so excited. I got so excited
He almost
because
put out my wine.
yeah, because it's something that I sing all the time, and I love that they kept it in the show. Because like usually when I'm walking around singing it, nobody ever knows what the hell I'm talking about. So yeah, we'll get to that when we get there.
Okay. Let
Yeah.
me see if I have any last minute questions or observations. Other than wanting to find some Avatar horror fanfic now.
Sarah, send that my way. I'm interested.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we've already, and Tanya and I offline have talked about all the different directions that fanfic can go.
Yeah. Could be some scary stuff.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, which reminds me, when we get out, like, I gotta tell you something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's 10:05.
It's 10:05.
Way past my
I know that we
bedtime.
were late. That means that we've done the shortest stream of all times.
I know. Sorry about the lateness, guys. It's Friday. We won't do Friday again.
Yeah.
We'll
Well, and
keep-
if we won't, I won't do it coming from your house.
well, yeah. And maybe
Yeah.
not at 9.
Not at 9. Yeah.
Maybe yeah.
All
Do
right.
it
Well,
earlier.
I'm Nikki. That was Tanya. Oh, wait. No, we have book club. Book club on.
Yes, I talked about it a bit in the beginning while we were
Yeah.
waiting, but yes, book club Sunday, Savage, Her Reply
Savage Her Reply. My
by
bag is too full.
Deirdre
Sullivan. Happy Women's History Month. Happy National Readers Month. And yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday to talk about episode 2.
Yes,
With
so we'll be
Atla.
back Tuesday to talk about episode 2. And then after that, I don't know what day, but
We'll figure it out and
yeah,
let y'all know.
it won't be weekly. It's gonna be every few days because
Yeah.
Nikki,
fine
we have
with me.
stuff to do.
We have stuff to do.
We can't spend 8 weeks on it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, if I didn't
Yeah.
have a gap coming up, then I'd be like, let's just do it. But
Yeah, it's just a lot going on, so we want to
Yeah.
get it in as soon as possible. Happy National Crafting Month. Crochet every day. Okay, I'll have to let
Hey.
Kojo know.
I'm gonna I've been looking for a reason to embroider again, and thank you for giving me the sign. It is time.
It is time. Well, on that note, I've been Tanya.
And I am always Nikki.
Have a good night, y'all.
Bye.